Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Sorry for the delay. I know I usually post on Mondays, or I try to, but this video is a little bit more special because we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite person, coworkers. So, the coworkers you work with from 9 to 5 every single day, 30 to 45 hours a week, and they just so happen to love to share their coworker music, their delicate cuisine, as well as the 3-hour meetings with the same people talking about Amazon purchases. And when you're in a meeting and in the most critical conversations through Microsoft Teams, that's when they decide to come out and see how you're doing. Hey, Colby. You're in a meeting? Okay, okay. I'll come back. Luckily, my coworkers are pretty good, but in a lot of places, and talking to various people, I know that you're not so lucky. So, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can use device authentication using Microsoft Entra and integrate that with IoT so that we can get the status of Teams meetings or users in Teams meetings to display through an IoT device, which is really a Raspberry Pi and some LEDs. But really, I want to show you the concept of device level authentication and how this can help developers to be able to streamline the authentication process. So, what is device authentication in Microsoft Entra? Device level authentication allows you to be able to take your TV apps, your IoT apps, and environments and authenticate them without the traditional overhead that would exist for users. By using a device code, users can enter in that code and then authenticate with that service or with that app, helping to streamline the authentication and registration process or sign in process on those applications, helping to save time and helping to reduce confusion and enhance the user experience. But the main reason why I want to share this with you is because it's an absolute godsend for people who want to use IoT, but also want to incorporate Microsoft Entra into their workflow, their IoT workflow, or their IoT environment. So, this integration is a real time saver and an absolute need for IoT and developers who are using devices that are not laptops or phones. So in today's video, what we're going to do, we're going to demonstrate that, and I'm going to show you how you can use this to pull Teams presence for a user, and then we can display that status so we can get rid of those coworkers that just need you for 1 second while you're in an important call. All right, so first things first, we gotta lay down our breadboard. This is where we're actually gonna put the LEDs and the components. So you can see I'm putting a red, another red, which is now green, and yellow. So red for busy, green for good, available, and then yellow for when we're out. Then from there, what we're going to do, we're going to put down some 1 kilo ohm resistors that are going to be used so the thing doesn't blow up. We're going to wire that down to our positive and negative leads on the board. And then for demonstration, I'm just going to use a 9-volt battery. In this case, this will be the GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi, which we will get into later as we assemble. So now you can see I'm trying to test it out, but it's not working. And that's because I forgot to wire the negatives. So we'll do that. Test again, and there you go. So now that we have that out of the way, let's actually build this thing. All right, so welcome back. So now we're actually going to demonstrate how this all works. So on this side, I have Azure and the app registration that I have for this demonstration, as well as the Python code. And I will also show you the Arduino code because I lied. I'm not actually going to use Raspberry Pi, but what I am going to use is Pi to Serial, which is a library within Python that allows you to communicate via serial to an IoT device such as an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi or what have you. So in this case, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to show you how everything works. So all I did is I created an app registration called Presence IoT Demo. In here, if you go into the API permissions, all I did is I got the presence read and the user read permissions. Pretty self-explanatory. The presence read permission is actually going to read our status and how we are in terms of Microsoft Teams. So it's actually going to go and check our status and see if we're available. From here, the big thing here that I really want to show you is if you go into authentication and then settings, it is important that you allow public client flows. This is what's actually going to allow you to use that device authentication flow. So once you have that all configured and good to go, all we're going to do now is take our client ID, 10ID, and plug it into this code here. So essentially, it gathers the client and 10ID, gets the scopes, the presence URL, so it's going to pull Microsoft Graph for the presence. We assigned our COM port and our baud rate and our interval, so every 10 seconds, it's going to pull out and send a request. We have our maps, so available is green, busy is red, away is yellow, offline is off. And then this is where we kind of get into the meat and potatoes of how it works and how it all goes together. So here we have what is the device authentication. So here you can see this is where we're actually going and creating that request to be able to use the device authentication flow. And then from there, it's going to get that token once we sign in and once we put in that code, which I will demonstrate to you. And then all we do is we get that listener. So we have a listener here that will check for the status and we'll check to see if we are available, if we are away, if we are busy, or what have you. We have some more Teams presence stuff here based on the auth token that we were given, just a loop, and then our little entry point at the end. So to be honest, this was actually generated by Copilot. I managed to do this within an hour and just had to tweak it a little bit. Of course, you're going to want to modify the comms port so you actually have the correct comms port that's plugged into your device. However, ours is COM5, which is just a USB on my PC. If we go into the Arduino code here, you can see that we assigned our LEDs based on the GPIO pins. And then all it's doing is it's listening to see if any of the commands or if any commands are sent from our Python. Based on those commands, change the LEDs accordingly. So now let's actually go ahead and demo this. So I have another camera set up as well so that you can actually see it in action. However, what we got to do first is we actually need to sign in. So let's hit run. I'm just going to run without debug here. You can see I already tested it just to make sure it was good. So I'm just going to zoom in here and follow the link. Then all we're going to do is we're going to take that same link here, or that same code, that code that we have here. So FEG Y6, so on and so forth. So let's do FEG Y6 YARZ. And then it's going to ask you to pick an account. So I'm just going to pick my own here. And then all we have to do, it's going to ask you if you are wanting to sign in, just to be sure that it is you. And it's going to give you a warning to only do it with apps you trust. We trust this app, so we're going to hit continue. And now we can exit out. And if you look here, you can see now that the authentication was successful. We have a connection to COM5, and we just got our Teams presence, which is offline. So there's no LEDs showing. If we go in to Microsoft Teams here, this is where it gets really cool. So you can kind of see on the screen here that things will change, but look down in the corner as well. This is pretty cool. This is probably one of my favorite things I've done so far on the channel. So let's say we just hopped into a meeting. Maybe we're meeting with executive or a meeting with a vendor. So now we're in a meeting. So we'll hit busy. Teams is going to pull, or the Python is going to pull and see what our status is. May take a second or two. And then there you go. It's red. If we set it to available, so now we're available. So every 10 seconds it's going to poll. Now we're available, and you can see that change there as well. And now we'll do be right back. Will appear away. So maybe we had to step out for a second, grab a bite to eat, have a little stretch. And then again, we have yellow. So really, this is a really cool way to be able to authenticate and use IoT within the Microsoft sphere. For the longest time, I was using third-party tools to authenticate and then go and use IoT. So this is, unscripted commentary here. This is awesome. Like, I truly love this. I think that this is going to be a great feature for those who are in the IoT sphere, like myself, or those who are developing apps for devices that aren't traditionally used with Entra but can be now. So yeah, that pretty much concludes it, and that pretty much is everything I have to say. I think it's an awesome thing. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and favorite, and click that bell notification so that way you're notified whenever cool stuff like this drops. Until then, what I will do is if you're interested, let me know in the comments. I will provide the code for both of these things, for the Arduino and for the Python. If you are interested, leave a comment below. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Until next time, guys, take it easy.